Greetings and welcome to LGR for 7 years now. What a crazy thing. Speaking of crazy things, did you hear that intro? That is just the coolest. Huge shout out to Andrew Holschult for putting that together for me. I commissioned him to remix my old theme song, Vaccine for You, in this metal rendition as you just heard, and it is awesome. You can download the whole thing in the description below if you'd like, and check out his other music too. He does a lot of really good stuff, but big shout out to all of you as well. Supporting the show over the years, this has just been the best time of my life. I love doing this. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can, and I just want to repay you a little bit by doing a video that you've requested for a long time, and something that I've wanted to do for ages myself, and that is build a 486 computer for MS-DOS gaming, and I am psyched to do this because, you know, this is the kind of era of computers that I just was like in awe of as a kid, and there's so many cool things you can do with them. So we're just going to go all out and really explain the pros and cons and the hassles that you're gonna have to deal with, but also the excitement and the cool stuff that you can do with a 486 computer and the pleasures of building one yourself. And not only that, I'm gonna deck it out in the only way I know how to here on LGR, and that is with wood grain. That's right, wood grain. On this show, it's not tacky, it's classy. And I've just got this contact paper wood grain vinyl adhesive, and we're gonna just wrap a 90s kind of beige style case in this and make it look awesome, kind of like what I did to this 3.5-inch external floppy drive here. Just look at that. That is just a marked improvement, I have got to say. I like wood grain. And allow me to explain really quick what I want to do with this 486. What are my goals here? Well, for one thing, it's got to have a turbo button. I think that's just cool. And two, I want it to be a VESA local bus, like VESA compatible motherboard and computer with a video card that uses a VLB connector, because it was something I always just sort of lusted after as a kid after SimCity 2000 came out, and I didn't have a VESA compatible computer that did SVGA, and so that just stuck in my mind for years. And I know there were some that were just regular like 16-bit ISA cards, and those are cool too, but I want to mess with VLB because I never have, and it seems like it could be interesting. The other goal really is just to keep it kind of period accurate to around 1993, 1994, something that I would have respected back then, but you know, maybe it's not the most powerhouse DOS 486 I could build. In fact, I know it's not. So you may be disappointed in that, but you know, there are just infinite variations on DOS computer builds that you can do. This is just going to cover a whole lot of the basics though, and you can apply this to those other more powerful builds, and maybe I'll do that sometime in the future too. But yeah, let's just hop into some part selection. I'm sure someone's going to ask, where am I going to get the parts for this computer? And that's a good question. I could go to eBay, I could go to forums, or try to look for them in thrift stores, but I have a better option. Why not just look in my own storage? Because, well, you know, I don't show people this room very often, but I've got a few spares of things lying around. These boxes are just full of parts, software, ongoing projects, a lot of LGR things I've done in the past, and many things that I hope to cover in the future, or even just a box of stuff like this here, just random ISA and other cards, all sorts of things in here, sound cards, video cards, there's a Voodoo card. Ooh, what is this? Yeah, a lot of these are maybe a little later than what I'm looking for, but there's also some good stuff in here that I'm for sure gonna use. Oh, here's an original Sound Blaster. That'd be nice. Well, isn't this a lovely assortment of parts? Let's just go ahead and take a look at everything piece by piece because I think it's awesome. And here is the motherboard itself that we will be using, which is quite an important piece, obviously. This right here, if you're curious about the model, is something known as the VI15G. I believe it was manufactured by Acer at some point or another, but yeah, I don't know. It's just your kind of generic jack-of-all-trades socket 3 486 motherboard that's very common at the time. There's a few reasons that I went with it. Of course, first being that it has VLB capability, which is just something I haven't messed with very much, so I'm curious to do that. It's basically an extension of 16-bit ISA, which is what all these slots are here. These are your expansion slots, and well, you have this in addition to that, so it's not PCI or anything like that, it's just 16-bit ISA with VLB capability, so you can plug in things like, well, video cards, of course, which is what I'm going to be using, but also hard disk controllers and like COM serial connections and all sorts of things, but pretty much just want it for the video capability right now. It also has this nice zero insertion force socket 3 right here for the CPU, and that just allows you to drop it in place, which is pretty much what you see still nowadays, and that might not seem so weird, but actually there's a lot of boards at the time that don't have this, and you just kind of have to jam it in place. It's really annoying. It's got a nice little auxiliary thing here if you want to plug in like a fan or something. Who cares? And there's also this American Megatrends BIOS, which I just really like this particular version of it because it looks neat. It's got a UI that just pleases me, and we'll get to that when we get to the setup program. It's got a spot here for like cache memory chips. I don't know if I have any of those on hand at the moment, but I will check and see if I do later. And check out all these little pins, right? All these jumpers. There are so many pins and jumpers and things that have to be either open or shorted or whatever. And that actually configures like what your CPU type is, the speed, other things you may have installed or features you want to enable or disable. It's all through pins. And the rest of it's through the BIOS. There's a lot more going on in like the setup program in this one, but yeah, there's still a lot of stuff that's determined through pins. It's got 4 72-pin SIM RAM slots here. Oh, come on, to focus, you stupid thing. There we go. And this is 16-bit RAM. There's a lot of boards of the time that are still going to have 30-pin SIM slots, but this one has the 16, like the 72-pin ones. I like that. I think this will actually take up to like 96 megs of RAM, which is insane. We're not going to put that much, although it'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? This right here might not look familiar if you're just more familiar with more modern PCs. This is not ATX or anything. That is your traditional PC power supply connector right there. So yeah, that's fun. It's a little aggravating to deal with. You'll notice there's a severe lack of ports built into this thing. In fact, really the only I/O kind of thing you have right here is a keyboard for 5-pin AT keyboard stuff, and that's it. So for things like, you know, a mouse or graphics card, sound, or literally anything, hard disk support, you're gonna need cards everywhere. So that's why there's so many friggin' slots, because pretty much every basic function is just not built in, and that's very common for these boards of the time. And something else that isn't common for boards of this era necessarily is the CR2032, just your basic kind of battery for the CMOS and real-time clock, and that's common now, but you know what? This is the only board like this from this time period that I actually own. In fact, let me show you some of the others that I was considering. So this board right here, it's very similar in a lot of ways, but look at that. It's got that horrible like barrel battery, and it's soldered into the board, and it's not a huge pain to take off of there. In fact, I just meaning to clip it off because they leak and they will ruin the motherboard. It will eat into the traces. It's just a bad time all around. So yeah, just get rid of those things whenever you can. Or replace them with, like the CR2032, you can just solder in a holder. It's no big deal. There's some of those cache chips. I might actually try to use those in the other board. And let me show you one other motherboard I was considering here. I decided against because of the battery, mainly. This is a really nice little board, actually, but it has that CPU insertion right there that is just, I mean, you just kind of have to slam it in place, and there's no lever. It makes it really annoying to deal with, and whatever. Just being lazy. And then it's got this, which is the battery. This is one of these real-time clocks. A lot of them were made by Dallas, and it's just all inside this little thing here. And the annoying thing is, even though they last a really long time when they do die, look at that. There's a billion little pins underneath, and it's soldered directly into the board. Now, some of them are socketed. Those aren't a huge pain to deal with, of course. You can just pull them out, put in a new one. Everything's fine. But with this one, you need like proper, like a vacuum pump desoldering tool. I don't have that, and I don't want to deal with it. So, went with this one, with the nice old easily replaceable CR2032. So, you can get those batteries friggin' anywhere nowadays, and since ever. The dawn of time. In fact, I think those 2032s predate humanity. So let's see, what's up next here? I guess we can just go on to the CPU itself. And I'm going with an AMD, which at the time, these were actually a little bit faster than a lot of Intel's offering, so these things are really neat. This is the DX266, the AM486 version of it. And, well, it's pretty awesome. Really classic chip, classic speed, and most importantly, my motherboard supports it right out of the box, like just as it is. So that makes it really easy. Obviously, if you can get something better, you probably want to. In fact, I was also considering this monster. Look at this. This is AM486 DX4 100. Ridiculously powerful for the time. In fact, this thing can give early Pentiums a run for their money and outperform the DX4 100s from Intel. Check that. Heatsink was actually required for this one, whereas just like the DX2 is not. So you don't need any heat sinks or fans or anything, but this one heatsink and fan would be nice. I could add a heatsink and fan to the DX2 if I wanted. In fact, I've got one right here. Look at this little thing. Oh, how cute. It works. That's about as much as you can say for it. Alright, so in order to get capability of pretty much everything we need, I've got this standard kind of controller card. 16-bit ISA, and it gives us a hard disk and floppy disk capability, as well as parallel and serial port, another serial port, and then like a 15-pin game port here, it looks like, which will be kind of redundant once I install a sound card, but hey, that's nice. That adds a bunch of I/O that we really need. Seriously. And let's see here. Well, we've got the hard disk, which is awesome. This is a classic Western Digital Caviar 2420. A massive 425.3 megabytes. Oh man. April 1994 is when this was made, so seemed appropriate. I could have gone with a compact flash solution. I'm very well aware of that, but just didn't want to. I wanted to go with more original kind of stuff here. And also, I've had some weird issues with compact flash and DOS and things actually sometimes running a little slower or just being iffy. I don't know. I just didn't want to mess with it for a DOS machine. And don't really need it either because honestly, the thing's fast enough. I like the sound of old hard disks too. Here's the RAM we'll be going with, 72 pin here. This one is 8 megs, and so is this one. So we're gonna have 16 megabytes of RAM with our 486 DX2. That is just such a classic configuration that it makes me want to dance around. Let's see here. We've got the video card that we're going to be using, and wow, there are a lot of choices for VLB video cards, but this is one of them that I had on hand that is quite nice, I think, for what I'm wanting to do. This is the Diamond Speedstar Pro VLB. This is a 1 megabyte video card. It's pretty sweet. And it supplies the SVGA and VGA, and I think pretty good compatibility with like EGA and CGA, which is nice. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of other cards. Some of them are 2 megs. A couple I've even seen like 4 meg. I mean, that's ridiculous, but yeah, so it's got the VLB connector right here, in addition to your classic sort of 8-bit style ISA connector. I'm also going to slap this in here because I might play around with some networking at some point, so we've got this to add here, a 10100 Ethernet and all that good stuff. So that's cool, but it's just, you know, it's just a card. Kind of boring. This is not boring though. When it comes to sound cards, there are obviously a ton of things I thought about. You know, the original Sound Blaster, Sound Blaster 16. In fact, I'm still considering slapping like a Sound Blaster 16 in here. But you know what? I may as well just go with this, the AWE32, the AW32 CT3900. Good old wavetable sound and all sorts of just cool stuff. These cards were legendary. Always wanted one back in the day, and I've got one. I'm going to stick it in there because I can. And yes, this does actually take some RAM in here, like 30 pin. I might stick some in there if I feel like it. I would have loved to put like a Gravis Ultrasound, but I don't own one. I would love to have one, but they're expensive and hard to track down, so maybe someday, but this will work. And then lastly, we've got some drives here. So we've got 3.5 inch, just your 1.44 meg, very standard, and also very standard 5.25 inch. This one is 1.2 megabyte capable, and I like that. You know, look at that. This drive is designed not to require a protect sheet. Inserting one may damage the mechanism. I don't want to take that off of there because it adds some charm, like very outdated charm. At one point when you were moving these things around, you would actually stick like a piece of floppy disk shaped cardboard in there to keep the internals from rattling when you're moving the computer. But they don't need it anymore with this one. And in case you're wondering about like the manufacturing and stuff, this is a Chinon FR506. Very common floppy drive. I've seen quite a few of these around. And this is pretty much just the most basic CD-ROM drive. I'm not the happiest with this, but it's what I had lying around closest by. So, you know, this is just a Sony CDU33A-01 double speed CD-ROM drive made in 1994, so it seemed appropriate. And then last but not least is the case. It's pretty much just a case. Taking off the outside here so you can see the inside. And just your kind of typical design of the time, and it's got some annoying stuff too, like a big caddy here for holding the hard disks and whatnot. But hey, I like the other parts of it. I like the fact that it has a nice proper PC speaker in there. Nice cone. None of that piezo beeper crap that you see on a lot of modern machines. And then of course we have the power supply, which is just a 200 watt power supply by Best Tech. I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely tech. And then around front here, I really like the front design of this. That whole sort of ridge, riveting, whatever, I don't know. It's neat. I like the display. The display was a necessary thing for me because I just thought it was the coolest thing ever as a kid. It's got a floppy drive already in here. You know, I might just leave it in there because it's really annoying to get out of here. I'll see if it works, and if it does, I'll probably just leave it. But check it out, turbo button, because that's awesomely necessary. And it does have the key right here for locking the keyboard and people from messing with it and whatnot. In fact, check this out. I've actually got the keys to go with it. So you just stick that in the front there, turn the key, and then nobody's going to be using your computer. Or if you forget and leave it in the wrong position, then your computer's just not turning on. You're like, what the heck? Or the keyboard doesn't work. It sucks. I like that little badge too, 46DX2, 66 megahertz. Now it is time to insert the CPU. And before I go any further though, let me just address the whole electrostatic discharge thing, because you may notice I'm not wearing a wrist strap or anything. I've never felt the need to. I've been doing this for decades, no problem at all, just touching a computer chassis that's grounded, making sure you discharge your static, and not doing anything on like a static surface or anything, and this wood table is fine. You just got to be mindful of it though, of course, and make sure that you are discharging, and you know, make sure that that sounds really dirty. Let's just stop it right there. So anyway, here is the CPU itself, and how do we do this? Well, it's pretty simple. If you see that little notch cut out right there, that's letting you know which way to put this thing in, and that's supposed to line up with that little extra pin that's off to the side there, being alone and sad. So we just sort of drop it here, and you'll notice that there are actually more holes in this socket than there are pins on the CPU. You just sort of stick it very much in the middle right there, and then we'll sort of drop this in place, and that's it. We've installed the CPU. Alright, time to address the RAM. And these are kind of fun too, as far as little notches go. So that means it can only go in one way here. And in this particular board, there's like a little extra bit on this side and not on this side. So that means the slot's going to go over there. And so with this one, I'm going to put this one in slot 1, which is this first one down here, which is labeled on the motherboard. And should just go in like so. There you go. It just sort of snaps in place there and gets in like that. And you do want to make sure that it's nice and tight, because these are a little finicky. Sometimes they looks like it's in, but it's not. There we go. Felt everything snap in place, I think so. All right, got the RAM installed. So let's get this thing inside the case, and then we can start installing some cards. So here's another thing that you don't see a whole lot of anymore, and that is the fact that there's only 2 offsets for the motherboard in this case. Otherwise, you just have these little grooves here, and that's for these kind of plastic offsets. And you know, it's kind of interesting because they just sort of pop in here like that, and then they're going to all right, my camera focuses. That part is going to slide into these little grooves along the back. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 spots for the offsets to screw into, and that's it. So it's kind of an interesting design. Yeah. By interesting design, I mean terrible. Super annoying. Okay, it's mostly in there. This one is supposed to have another one go in right here, but the cache is actually covering the spot where the 4th one would go. So I'm just kind of gonna let it be what it is, but it is at least mounted in there, and it's got a screw, and the other ones are in place. So it's 4 points. It's just this corner is a little loose, so gotta be careful with that. All right, let's go ahead and plug in the power supply to the motherboard here. And with these, in theory, they will fit either way, but you only want to put them in one way, like so many other things in here. And if you don't, then you might blow something up. So black to black is the idea here. So of course the black cables go side by side, and if they're opposing, then it's not good. You kind of have to wiggle them in place. Let's see. Go. All right. Oh, here's a fun part. And by that I mean not at all. These are all the things for the front of the case. So, and the things like PC speakers, turbo switch, LEDs, and even the little key in the front. It's all got to plug into the motherboard somewhere. Except for, I think, the hard drive LED. That's actually going to plug into the controller card once I get that installed. But, good. Okay, so it does have some of these connectors labeled down here, but not all of them. So that's kind of a pain. That means start looking up online what the pinouts are for this thing, which it looks like, yeah, there's a jumper manual on that old classic Imbaron site, motherboard manuals, data, and more. So yeah, let's follow this and see what we got. Okay, I'm going to say that that is correct. And if it's not, then I will know once we turn this thing on. Alright, let's go ahead and get the unwieldy controller card connected. And put it in this slot and hope it likes it there. Alright. If I were thinking, I would put it up here, but I'm not thinking. Okay, put the networking card in here. Sweet. Giant sound card right here. And yes, I know I'm taking up the VLB slot right there, but we've got 2 more. I'm not worried. While we're at the sound card here, I'm actually going to go ahead and plug in, this is like the audio interface cable for the CD-ROM to allow CD audio to pass through to it. So that's going to go right there. And then this will plug into the back of the CD-ROM drive. And finally, the video card. I'll go right here, and these are kind of tricky because of the VLB part of it. It's a little unwieldy. And the screw at the bottom was getting in the way of putting the video card in place. So, there we go. Very tight fit in those VLB portions down there, but alright, that's pretty much all the cards plugged in, I guess. Now that is a proper assortment of ports and whatnot in the back. Makes me very happy, even though this thing seems to want to leave. Okay, time to drop this floppy drive in here. And I didn't mention it, but I have actually gone through and cleaned out the inside of that as much as I could. You can use like a disc cleaner if you want to, or you can just go inside like I did and just vacuum it out, made sure everything was all nice and clean in there, and then you lube up the rails with some appropriate like electronics lube. Usually that's like a white lithium based lubrication, I believe is what it is. So yeah, just to make sure that it works nicely, because those will absolutely crap out over time. They'll usually be repairable. You know, you can get them working again, but 5 1/4 inch floppy drives especially can be really finicky when they're not properly maintained. You can start putting in some power and data cables and things like that. So here's that audio cable that's going to the sound card. It's going to go back to the CD-ROM right there. Let's see. That floppy drive is up there. Looks like the power is still connected to the 3.5 inch already, so that's useful. So this is something that's always kind of tricky when putting floppy drives in and connecting them all up. So these doesn't really have much of a notable like pin 1, or usually there's a red stripe here. This one kind of has one, I guess. It's kind of like little speckles, but that's supposed to indicate which way this is going to plug into the back of the floppy drive. So it's supposed to, the red part, pin 1, is supposed to be facing the direction of where the power plugs in. And in this floppy drive, at least for the 3.5 inch here, it goes in on the right, the power does. So that means the red part should be facing that. And there we go. Got it plugged in. And then this is going to plug into the 5 1/4 inch drive, and these can only go in one way, and that's that way. So that's plugged in. Sweet. Power is already plugged in for the 3.5 inch, so just plug this one into the 5 1/4 inch floppy drive there. So here's the caddy that I was talking about that the hard disks go into. It actually goes in here like that and screws into the back. So you have to like take this thing out, or else you can't get to actually putting anything inside of there. So simple enough though. It just slides in there like that, I believe, and that's pretty much all I gotta do. Well, of course I do have it set to be the only drive in there with those little jumper pins, which usually tells you what to do on the back or the top of the drive where the label is. Just gotta line these up. God, I hate this design. Okay, so I just realized something. That's an early Sony CD-ROM drive, and that had like a Sony interface, and this is the cable that you can use with it, and I was just gonna plug it in. I'm like, wait a second, I don't have anywhere to plug that in the rest of the computer here. There's like spaces to do, you know, different interfaces and whatnot on the AWE32, and I've got some things on the controller card, but those are all filled. Yeah, none of them are gonna fit that. I do actually have a controller deal like the Sony would just plug in right here. You can see it actually says Sony CD-ROM. But you know, this is like a sound card and other things that I don't need. So what I'm gonna do is swap out this CD-ROM here, the Sony, which is, it's a classic, but you know what, I don't want other cards in there, especially audio ones, potentially conflicting, and I could probably make it work, but I just don't want to, so screw it. Alright, you weirdo, get out of there. Put something much more appropriate in here instead. I picked up something at the local Circuit City just a few minutes ago, a brand new inbox Blaster CD-ROM 2-speed by Creative. No, Circuit City has been out of business for friggin' ever, which makes me very sad, but this, I've had this for a while, and I figure I may as well open it up and install it in here, because this will work just fine with what I've got, and it also includes an interface card and cable. Well, since we're here, I may as well do an unboxing. It's pretty cool, actually. I don't remember how long I've had this, but it's been quite a while. I've been wanting to open it up anyway and just use it for a rainy day. So let's see. Ooh, look at that. Brand new. Very cool. So you've got the little baggie here with the cable and another one of those. This is actually going to have a different end connector for the audio. So it's a good thing it came with that. I like this. This is really cool. I was always jealous of these, or envious of my friends that had one Creative CD-ROM. Look at that. MPC2 Multimedia PC standard. Adheres to that just fine. Brand new. Oh, that's really cool. Made in 1995, actually. So this must have been a later, like, re-release budget thing. I guess that makes sense with the packaging and, like, the whole value. So here is the controller card. And this, it's like just an 8-bit ISA. Yep. So that'll just drop right in there, and check it out. This thing is so clean. Makes sense, but I mean, it really is. Huh. You know, it looks like I could actually hook in that Sony drive on this one, but no, I'm not going to go with the Creative because I have more nostalgia for that anyway. Let's see what else we get in here. This is pretty cool. We get thank you registration card, a user's guide for the Blaster CD-ROM 2-speed. Have you seen these forces? My God. Some pretty hefty documentation here. Look at all this. Good grief. Wow. Installing CD-ROM support in DOS is no easy task sometimes, especially Windows 3.12. There's an addendum. And looks like we have a floppy disk for some software. Do I want to open this or not? I think I do. Thunder outside. Oh yeah. Sound Blaster CD-ROM installation disc. Not seen in 21 years. Very cool. Well, this will make it a heck of a lot easier to set up. I was having to like figure out where I was going to get the drivers and things for that Sony drive and how to make that work, but this is about as simple as it gets. So yeah, I was right. The cable that the Creative CD-ROM drive comes with actually plugs directly into the AUTH32 sound card, so I don't even need to use this guy at all. But this is a very useful card to have for that Sony and Creative drive ports right there. That's really cool. Kind of a tight fit. Oh yeah, I like the look of this much better anyway. Not necessarily the coloring or anything, but that's just, I remember seeing so many Creative drives on friends and family's computers that, oh man, I always wanted one. Oh yeah, everything's in here, looking good. Cable management is top notch. But you know, if this works, I don't really care too much. Moment of truth, see if anything works. There's the power. Ooh, got a signal. Yes! 16 megs of RAM. There's the motherboard. I hear the hard drive. Ooh, it detected. C drive failure. Well, that's kind of expected. I don't think they're... Okay, 66 megahertz. It's all looking pretty cool. Yeah, it's missing the operating system. That's... Alright, so... don't have floppy drive B detected there. Kind of makes sense. Let's restart this thing and get into the setup program. And check this out, alright? So this is what I was really... I just love this BIOS. Look at this. It's like an Atari ST or something. It has that sort of look to it. It's really cool. Okay, so let's just take a look here. Date and time. Wow, it already knows? What the heck, man? That's pretty cool. Seriously, that's impressive. I have not set this myself. Whoever had this thing before me must have like set it. Wow, it has kept track of the time within like a few minutes. That's pretty amazing. All right, that battery must still be pretty good in there. Because yeah, I didn't check the CR2032. I didn't take it out or anything. That's genuinely impressive to me. So I'm gonna say that maybe, yeah, let's try that. See what happens. Hard disk C. Ooh, it's a user set. Is that really what I want? I didn't even see if it was detecting it as the correct drive. Looks like we can detect C. Let's see what that is. Yeah, that's correct. Wow, it detected it nicely. See, yeah, I love this BIOS. It's so cool. Look at this. Army mode BIOS. Pastel Sky. This is like Windows 2.0 kind of crap here is what it looks like. Isn't this great? I love this. This makes me so happy. Okay, let me move the camera here for a second. Oh my god. Check it out. The turbo is displaying the 66 megahertz right there. I don't know if this is functioning. I probably should check that here soon. But anyway, basically, what this is asking right here on the screen, system boot up speed is in high. So when you press the turbo button, it'll go down to like the lower compatible mode for lower speed. The rest of this is looking pretty good. Oh, sweet. No error that time. Awesome. 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 All right, so yeah, I have actually used this hard drive and something else before just to test it out. It doesn't actually have like full DOS 622 on there. Like, see, it's asking for time and date and weird crap. It's really just like Command Com, and that's it. But I did actually put Keen Dreams on there. I don't remember why. Hey, Dreams. Neat. See if this PC speaker works and I connected that correctly. Ooh, I don't hear it. Nope, doesn't seem to be working. So we got some things to sort out, but this is very promising. Okay, so this is going to be interesting to try to fix. Brand new CD drive. When you hit the eject button, check that out. That's as far as it opens. For brand new, I am not impressed. It was more of a budget release than I thought. Alright, so check it out. This whole back part here, it's supposed to look more like that, and instead it's like coming out of that little area in there and is all busted up. I can't believe it. Brand new in the box has not even been harmed. I mean, you saw it. It looked like, well, brand new. I'm gonna see if I can fix this, but if not, I might be going back to the Sony. Good grief. Okay, I will be surprised if this works. But there we go. So I was able to just literally take this assembly, I picked it up and plopped it back where it was. Or where it's supposed to be. I guess it just came from the factory like that. That is ridiculously cheap. I mean, this whole assembly is just really cheap. That's unfortunate. Much better. So I've got the wonky CD-ROM drive figured out, but I do have another problem to sort now. So the A and B drives are reading, but they're not exactly reliable. Like, they're recognizing just fine, but when I try to read a disk, I get this horrible general failure reading drive A, which is unfortunately a pretty common problem for these. I'm going to try to access the B drive now. Oh, let me put the disk in there. Try that again. And this one typically seems to read things. Yeah, like it read that just fine. I've had a couple times where it hasn't though, so you know, I'm gonna check the drives themselves, check the cable, check the controller card. There's a bunch of things that this could be. It could also just be that this is a bad drive. I've never actually tried that 3.5-inch drive before. I know this one usually works on the other machine that I've used it on, so well, here we go. Easiest way to check it really quick is just to try another 3.5-inch drive here, and well, it's getting the same error, so it's probably something else. Okay, after 35-40 minutes of screwing around with everything I could, replacing cables, replacing discs and cards, man, I put in a whole, I switched around everything, really. So the sound card's at the bottom now, and I also put in this, another controller card that I had, which is actually a VLB card. You can kind of see it there. My phone shadow's in the way. But it's basically the same as the one I had in there that was just normal ISA. Hooked everything up, and using the same old floppy drive, and looky here. Everything's fine. Perfectly fine. So, somewhere along the line, it has been fixed. I don't give a crap where. Well, now that I've got a working A drive, it's time to install MS-DOS 6. Or specifically 6.22. Probably install Windows 3.1 eventually as well. But we're just gonna, gotta have DOS first. So that's what we're gonna do. I love this classic setup for Microsoft operating systems. They used this for, man, till what? Windows Vista or something? Maybe fix it with ScanDisk. Disk problems, just diagnose them, correct them. I'm sure it probably works for some things, but you know what? Whoever really used ScanDisk, oh, this is gonna be good. Killer. Oh yeah, and I plugged in the PC speaker, so Keen Dreams should have PC speaker sound now. The actual PC speaker noise on. Whoops. Haha. Yay! PC speaker noise! Oh, it sounds so cool. Okay, I guess we'll try setting up the CD-ROM drive now and see if my quick repair worked. Oh yeah, it's just that. So let's see what we got here. Looks like I probably might have to do the same installation when I get 3.1 on here. But this is the DOS installer. So let's see what we got. SBCD works fine with me. Okay, I'm assuming it's that since I didn't change. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe I should have checked that because I'm actually plugging this into the R32, not the card that it came with. Oh. Oh, good. Well, it's at least got this. I don't know. Oh, it's not ready. Huh. Yeah, so I might need to switch that address. Okay, now it's time to install the R32 wonderful sound card here off of the original floppy disks. And, yeah, let's just... Well, let me see what's in the custom here. Oh my, all sorts of crap. A lot of things I don't necessarily need, especially because there's Windows stuff that I don't even have Windows on here right now. So yeah, this is interesting. I don't exactly have any of these drives, but, maybe this will work. We'll see. You see all that stuff that just went by earlier about the IRQ and DMA settings and things like that. Well, there's a reason that can be such an absolute pain, and that is because each piece of hardware that goes in there, all the cards and stuff, they're going to have IRQ and DMA settings. That basically is like memory addresses and the system knowing where to look for certain things and whatnot. And if they happen to have the same settings, they can conflict. Or if they're looking in the wrong space, they can conflict. And all sorts of things that can conflict. It's a wonderful, terrible thing. Let's try some Duke Nukem 2 as a test for the sound. I know it's not exactly AWE 32, like tiered wavetable stuff, but at least try Sound Blaster and AdLib. Yeah, it isn't promising. No music. Huh. Okay, so we've got Sound Blaster sound, like PCM audio, but no ad-lib, or...
I am back.
Well, that's fascinating. I don't think I've ever, Yeah, it's turned on. Okay, so this is the testing utility, diagnostic utility for the R32, so we should be able to...
8-bit testing.
8-bit testing. Okay, so we got that.
16-bit testing.
Okay, that's good. Huh. Everything seems to be working. Very well, I might say. So that's cool. Maybe you just needed to friggin' be stupid. It is just insanely low volume. Okay, well, we know how to fix that. Alright, let's get out of here and get back to the... So this is where you can adjust, like, the volume for, well, all sorts of things, really. And, yeah, if we want to... some equalizer settings and things like that in here too, but So I haven't had much luck getting the CD drive to work with the sound card, so I'm going to actually try it with the card it came with, just to see if indeed the CD drive is working, because I don't know. I mean, it could be screwed up for all I know. Another thing I've noticed is that the main speaker output here is really crackly. Like, I mean, it's seen better days anyway, this card, so what I'm going to do is use a little bit of this Deoxit contact cleaner, which is good for, well, cleaning contacts and stuff. And especially like deoxidizing audio ports. Yeah. So, in theory, this is supposed to just break up the oxidization and some other crap that's in there. Works really well for a lot of audio equipment that I have, so hopefully it'll resolve my problems here too. So we'll let that sit for a while, kind of let it go, and then spray it a little bit more, and then let it dry off and get all that crap out of there. And hopefully we'll have some good audio. Please. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Sweet. Alright, so I guess that worked. Putting in the creative card, not the sound card, the interface card for the CD-ROMs. Awesome. So we should have D accessible. Oh, I hear it spinning. Hopefully it's okay. It sounds a little bit like it's rubbing up against something, which it probably is. Yep. Okay, so I was afraid of that. That kind of is expected, to be honest. So CD is fine. It didn't mess up anything. But the internals are a little screwed up because of the whole, well, the fact that it's just a piece of crap. Well, it's been an interesting couple of days, but here's the solution I've got at the moment. I'm just using this random Acer CD-ROM drive, which is much later. It's a 50 speed. I don't like it being in here since it doesn't fit my whole early 90s aesthetic. That's more like much later 90s, but you know, whatever. I don't care because it friggin' works. And it's an IDE drive, and I don't have to mess with any stupid controller cards or anything like that. It's the lazy way out, but that's what I'm doing right now until I get a better, more appropriate for the era CD-ROM that actually works. Because I tried the Sony one, it didn't work. And like the creative one, there are just so many problems I've had over the past couple days that I'm just pissed. So here we go. Here is, let's see, Duke Nukem 3D that I was trying to do the other day. Just trying to install this, and you know, there we go. Excellent. Exactly what I wanted to do. Now, setting up these IDE drives is super simple, because like I said, you don't need like an extra controller card or any weird interfaces. It's just IDE, the same as the hard disk that I'm using. And so what you do for that is, as long as your DOS version is compatible, you can just put this into your config.sys file. I've named this one farts. It's using the cd1.sys, which is just like a standard OAK CD-ROM file that's, it comes with a lot of versions of DOS, and I don't know, I just have it floating around. You can find it if you need to. And then you add this to your autoexec.bat, and this will start up the actual CD-ROM capability when your computer starts. This tells it to look for farts, which is in here, and this tells it to make it the D drive. And obviously you can change around some of this if you want to, but this is how I'm doing it for now. Okay, just to test out some things in Duke 3D really quick, and well, I have successfully set the AWE32 goodness in here, and the music set to that as well. And everything's pretty much default, so... Nice! Kind of sounds like crap, but you know, whatever. So let's try this 640 by 480 VESA mode here. You know what? It's not going to do that at all. Let's do it anyway, because it's probably going to suck. Well, we're going to get an intro screen, but you're going to see what happens when you try to run this in 640 by 480 on a 486 It just... It takes forever to load, for one thing. But once it does, oh my word. We might get a frame a second. It's like two frames. Oh man, you know, it's just the fact that it can do this Visa compatible mode, and that's what would have made me happy back in the day. I would have learned to play this game like this anyway. Obviously it's going to run better in just like a software mode because yeah, the graphics and the CPU and just everything just are not up to snuff to work it out that way. Oh yeah, that's a lot better already. Sweet. Actually got a logo that moves. That sound really does sound awful in the Auth32 mode. I need to mess with the sound fonts or something, man, because that... You can make that sound different. Okay, so yeah, this is about what I expected for a 66 megahertz. So even at 320 by 200 here, it's just still going to... I mean, this is going to take forever to load right here. Oh, it didn't take as long as I thought. That's really slow. So typically what you did when you had a computer of this slowness was turn off the detail, turn that kind of stuff off, and then even screen size way down here. And I do remember playing some games like this on my 486 back in the day. Look at that, it's almost playable. I mean, sure, it's just about twice the size of a postage stamp, but it does work and you can play it. This brings back memories, man. Oh, it really does. I had a Packard Bell 486. I believe it was a 66DX2 like this one. And it, you know, this is about what it could do. Of course, it never had a sound card, never had a CD-ROM drive, so it was immeasurably less cool than this computer. But I still loved it. I may as well kill myself. This is freaking awful. But yeah, you know what I wanted to play with a Visa compatible computer? I wanted one of these cards in here, and a sound card, and a CD-ROM, just to play this. The SimCity 2000 Special Edition on CD-ROM, and it just blew me away. A friend of mine had a compact, and it had all the things, you know? I think it was also like a 66 megahertz 46, but it had a CD-ROM drive. I believe by Creative even, they installed that thing, and Sound Blaster, and you know, basically I'm emulating that experience from around 1993, 94, and this is all I wanted, man. And I don't know if, let me see here, SVGA card with 512K video RAM. Now it doesn't actually tell you that it's gotta, like, conform to this Visa standard thing, but when you run the setup on this, you know what, I'm just gonna show you right now. Oh man, okay, yeah, so this right here, this installation screen was the bane of my existence for years. So when I got this, not specifically the special edition, but you know, this is what I want to do. It just didn't work because I had a VGA card, and you know, I think it had some sort of weird SVGA capability. It was a Trident card, I remember that because I remember thinking, oh, my video card is chewing gum. This is all on that Packard Bell. And you know what, it just... It would not get past this no matter what. Yeah, it's correct. So where is this in here? Let's do the custom install. And I remember going through here. We're going to do the full. And we'll get to this. And so it's going to run through all the whole installation, and then what it would do is there's another installation for installing the Visa video drivers and whatnot for your specific computer, and I had no idea what that crap was on mine. And I got SimCity 2000 for Christmas, 1994 I believe, and I couldn't run it for like 6 months or so while I tried to figure out this Visa compatibility problem. It was such a thing. I remember UniVBE or something along those lines, an executable. Yeah, I think it just installed it. You'll see some of this Visa data stuff, and so this could run it, and my computer back then couldn't. So I'm building this thing to get back at the past. Always had to select PC speaker, but nope. We're gonna go all out because I can now, because I made something that's amazing. Oh, suck it 1993. Bam. Continue. Alright, same thing for this. Suck it 1993. Bam. Okay, so it completed just fine. However, it would give me all sorts of errors back in the day because of this Visa crap. And let me see if I can open that. Okay, so VDetect did all this, right? It would bring these things up. I had none of these. Closest I could figure is I had a Trident something, but it wasn't an Impact. And I tried every single one of these. Yeah, look at this. It would try to bring this up, and it was just like, holy crap, what's going on? But here you go, look at this. Visa compliant card. Oh, this. Oh man, I almost want to cry because this seriously is what I dreamed of so much. This was my favorite game in the world. I would play it at my friend's house. They had the Visa card. This is worth all the hassle right here. Oh, this is great. Look at this. Oh, look at it. Oh, it's so cool. SimCity 2000 Special Edition. So yeah, man. This is all I wanted to do with this machine. I'm not even kidding. Of course I can't find the mouse driver. That's because I haven't loaded the mouse. No! But yeah, I just need to plug in a mouse really quick. I'm digging around my storage again and found this little guy. Figured this would be a good choice for a mouse. Logitech First Mouse for IBM compatibles. Double click with one click. Yeah, that's what the middle mouse button did. Double click button. Not the middle mouse button. But yeah, whatever. It'll work for what I need. It's a serial and it's all pretty new and stuff inside. So let's get this out of the way. Mouseware Lights program to install it if you want, which you don't necessarily need to. DOS has its own sort of drivers for it and whatnot. And here we go. It still has the sticker on it from when I was at Goodwill and got it. But yeah, it's just a really basic little mouse. Kind of cheap. And it's got this serial to PS2 adapter on there. Obviously, I don't need the PS2 ports, as I don't have one on that computer, but serial is exactly what the doctor ordered. Alright, I've got the first mouse plugged in for the first time. Ah, so clever. And we're going to play some SimCity 2000 because I really want to.
Reticulating spline.
That's right, reticulate those splines, baby. We're going to call this Woodgrain Town. Yeah, we're going to start in 2000. Woodgrain Town founded. On this joyous Sunday celebration, Mayor Clint turned the first ceremonial shovel of earth, and things happened. Oh yes, this is the good stuff right here. So let's build a power plant. Go with coal, because that's the thing you do nowadays. Wow, I just noticed I'm not talking at all. I am already just into the game. This is just... I love this stuff. Oh. There's some police right there. Let's just do this. Because why not? And we'll put a water pump over here. A few of those things to plan ahead. Want a flint situation going on. Alright. Go with that cheetah speed. The DOS version doesn't actually have African Swallow. You only got that with the Windows version of the Special Edition here, so. Well, a notable fact that is. Look at this. My town is thriving. Time to blow it up. Riots in the streets. Mayor's blowing up the whole town. We just got started. What is this crap? Oh no! I like how they're setting things on fire as they're about to be overtaken by hurricane floods. Oh, guess not. You guys just suck then. Whatever. I put them there. That's just how it goes. This game is awesome. So yeah, with the 486 it does run a tad slow, I mean, but at the same time, it was designed to run on good grief, systems even slower than this. But yeah, you can see like on even on a really populated city here, still running pretty well. I mean, it's more than playable. This is how I remember playing it, so it's good stuff. I like this. I like this so much. But you know what? Even though I do, let's actually go and check out some other games while I have this open and just show a few things in action here on the Woodgrain 486. Norton Commander. Yeah, there's a time and a place for a bunch of DOS commands and entering things through text, but well, if you got it, may as well use it. Well, I think you get the gist of it. It works. Alright, so I'm pretty satisfied with the way this thing is working at the moment, so last thing to do is apply the wood grain. And, well, I've never actually done this to a computer, so I'm assuming I'm really just gonna make it go all the way around and just stick it to it best I can. Oh yeah, this is gonna work. Slow going, trying to get all these bubbles out. Oh yes! So I got plenty of extra around the edges and whatnot to cut off, trim, all that kind of stuff. But look at this. That is so cool. Oh yeah. I think I've got myself a wood grain PC case here. That is... Oh, okay, I love this. Alright. Look at that. Oh, that is the coolest. I love it. Oh man, okay. Let's look at better. Look at this thing here. That's so freaking cool to me. Wood grain, wood grain, wood grain. It's a very nice walnut kind of texture. Oh yes. That is pure class. Now I do it kind of makes me want to mess with the front of this a little bit more and make it more appropriate. Like I was thinking maybe sort of a black instead of this beige, and then maybe have these like a silver or something. But then of course that leaves this, but then again that might work. And as you might have noticed, I actually did find another CD-ROM drive that is appropriate. This one was made, I think, early 1995, and it's just a 4-speed, works very well, IDE drive, just like that Acer one was, and oh, this is just so fulfilling to create. Well, that's it for the Woodgrain 486 build for today, and I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed creating it. This is just, it's so satisfying to create this thing. And yeah, there might be some of you asking very legitimately, like, why not just get a pre-built DOS machine from the time? And yeah, you can do that. Great option. And in fact, there's a whole lot of things that you can do as far as like later Windows machines that make a lot more sense than something like this, practically, if you just want to play some games really easily. But, or even DOSBox, you know, fine option nowadays. But this is pure fulfillment. This is pure childhood fantasy come to life. This is just geeky greatness. I love these kinds of projects, and putting this thing together, it was just, oh, this is so cool. I love this, man. This is like my new favorite computer. Oh, I don't have much more to say, except that I do want to do some more work on it. Like, it's not perfect yet. It does need some little kinks worked out. Like, for instance, the turbo button doesn't actually adjust the display here. I'm not sure why. I couldn't get the power LED to work. It may need to be replaced. And there's some weird issues still with the AW32 sound card. I don't know if the card is bad, like, because now the right audio channel on the audio out is just not working at all, so I need to address that. So, and I also want to install 3.1 and maybe 3.11 on here. For Windows, just to play with that, because I like that version of Windows. But you know, either way, this has been so much fun to put together, and thank you to everyone who is supporting me over the years to make these kinds of things happen, and thank you for watching my just stumbling around trying to get something like this to happen. This is awesome. 7 years of LGR, and this is the result. I hope it was worth it.
And if you enjoyed this video, then perhaps you'd like to see some of my others. Although if you made it this far, chances are you have seen some of my others. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, you can click some of these videos right here, or stop by every Monday and Friday for more of this kind of stuff. And as always, thank you very much for watching for 7 years and counting.